worthless piece of paper. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for Councilman Taylor in our salute to our flag and country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing for our prayer, please.
Our provider and sustainer, I pray that you guide us always. Satisfy the needs that need to be met during this meeting. Strengthen us as we make tough decisions. I pray that we will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. I pray that we will be fruitful. Father, please guide us so that this meeting can be productive, because a lack of guidance causes a nation to fall, but victory is won through many advisors. Let us be effective and decisive. I pray you direct our steps for your desires. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Pastor. I call to order our Guthrie Public Works Authority meeting of Tuesday, April 4th. Second item on the agenda is public comments, community announcements, and recognitions. I have a number of proclamations to read. Do we have anything else? Okay. One of the things that has happened because we have canceled our second city council meeting this month is that we have a number of resolutions, proclamations that have for the whole month that have come upon this meeting. So I have the honor of reading 5.
Do you want your drink with you?
You may. So bear with me a little bit. These are all very important, obviously. And Chief, I think you're on most of them. You and your staff. Yes. Okay, I'll start out with this proclamation. This is for National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week. Whereas animals of all shapes, sizes, and species fulfill many important and vital roles in our lives and our hearts. Whereas the vast majority of animals are cared for and loved appropriately as either livestock or as family members. And whereas animal control officers are committed, professionally trained women and men who have a unique desire to serve their fellow man and other creatures, great and small. And whereas the City of Guthrie Animal Control Officers specifically maintain one of the highest animal adoption and placement rates for an Oklahoma municipality animal shelter. And whereas our animal control officers maintain one of the most successful and long-lasting volunteer programs in our great state. And whereas each of our animal control officers have exhibited exceptional empathy and professionalism while providing service above self during the performance of their duties every single day. Now, be it therefore resolved that I, Stephen J. Gentling, Mayor of the City of Guthrie, declare the week of April 9th through the 15th, 2023, to be National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week in honor of the men and women who diligence and professionalism keep our citizens and their creatures, great and small, safe. Chief, congratulations. Please share that with those men and women if you would, please. Next proclamation is National Telecommunicator Week. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property, and whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Guthrie Emergency Communications Center, and whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio and providing them information and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the Guthrie Police Department have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, the suppression of fires, and the treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during their performance of their job in this past year, Be it therefore resolved that I, Stephen J. Gatling, the mayor of the city of Guthrie, declare the week of April 9th through the 15th as National Telecommunicator Week in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our citizen and our community safe. Chief, again, share that with your staff. Thank you for your leadership of that group. And let's see here, I'll switch this one here. This is the Crime Victims' Rights Week. Whereas Crime Victims' Rights Act passed here in Oklahoma and at the federal level guarantee victims the right to meaningful participation and use of their voice in the criminal justice process. And whereas victim service providers, advocates, law enforcement officers, attorneys, and other allied professionals can help survivors find their justice by enforcing those rights. And whereas including and elevating the voices of survivors makes certain that they are heard and seen on the path of forging and sustaining community trust. And whereas survivors' experiences can serve as a catalyst for implementing innovative programs, shifting existing programs into new directions, and changing policies and practices that prevent survivors from assessing or help providers assess services and justice system. And whereas National Crime Victims' Rights Week provides an opportunity to recommit to listening to crime survivors in every space where decisions are made that could impact them. And whereas the City of Guthrie and its police department do hereby dedicate to amplifying the voices of survivors and creating an environment where survivors have the confidence that they will be heard, believed, and supported. Be there resolved that I, Stephen J. Gatling, Mayor of the City of Guthrie, declare the week of April 23rd to the 29th, 2023, as Crime Victims' Rights Week, reaffirming this city's commitment to creating a victims service and criminal justice response that assists all victims of crime during this week and throughout the year, and expressing our sincere gratitude and appreciation for those community members, victim service providers, and criminal justice professionals who are committed to improving our response to all victims of crime so that they may find relevant assistance, support, justice, and peace in our community. Chief? Thank you. Chief, I know that you were one of the implementers of a program here. In fact, maybe one of the first ones in the state for our victims support program. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to the staff that you have working on this. And I think our city, I know, is beholding to you and the staff in making that happen.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
We can tell you guys things okay.
Yep.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you for trusting.
Do
Yeah.
a great job.
Thank you.
This is a special one for Tenny. Whereas Arbor Day is celebrated throughout our nation.
Want something to drink, Steve?
Yeah, keep something to drink.
Whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our topsoil, lowering our heating and cooling costs, and clean the air, creating habitat for wildlife. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas trees provide numerous benefits such as increasing our property values, enhancing the economic vitality of business areas, and beautifying our community and wherever they are planted, and as a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Be it therefore resolved that I, Stephen J. Gatling, Mayor, City of Guthrie, in recognition of the upcoming National Arbor Day on April 28th, 2023, do by acknowledge Arbor Day in the city of Guthrie and the great state of Oklahoma. Arbor Day on Tree City. We've been Guthrie's been Tree City for years and years and years. I don't know exactly how many, but 27 years. So that's some recognition of leadership like Tenny and city manager to create a Tree City, to create Arbor Day celebration here in Guthrie, America. So congratulations for that vision.
Here comes the fun.
Okay, this is a recognition of 89er celebration. Kim, you want to come up? I know that there's some other members of the American Legion that are maybe on our way. This is Kim Vincent, who is the adjutant for American Legion post here in Guthrie. So this is a proclamation from the state of Oklahoma. Whereas Oklahoma 89er Day celebration is an annual event commemorating Oklahoma's first land run, which opened the unassigned lands of central Oklahoma, and whereas it is appropriate for Oklahomans to commemorate the vision and resolution displayed by the pioneer men and women who opened this territory and settlement on April 22nd, 1889, and whereas Oklahoma's land run marked the beginning of one of the most dramatic and colorful periods of history in our great state. And whereas it is fitting to reflect on the brave deeds, determination, and faith that guided each settler as they built a firm foundation for future Oklahomans. And whereas the Oklahoma legislature has declared that the historic city of Guthrie in Logan County shall be the official city of festival for the 89 celebration week. Let me read that again. Oklahoma legislature has declared that the historic city of Guthrie in Logan County shall be the official city of festival for the 89er celebration week. And whereas events taking place throughout the week in Guthrie include a parade, a rodeo, carnival, concerts, contests, and dances. Now therefore, I, the governor, J. Kevin Stitt, do hereby proclaim April 22nd, 2023 as Guthrie 89er Celebration Day in the state of Oklahoma. Signed by Governor Stitt.
Cool.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's all I got.
Consent agenda.
Okay, item number 3 on our agenda is consent agenda. Consent agenda A, which is the approval of the minutes of the March 21st, 2023 Public Works Authority meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Submit your votes, please.
I'll vote Strang.
See the votes. Unanimous approval from all those present to approve the consent agenda item A, the minutes of the Public Works Authority meeting of March 21st. That being the end of our Public Works agenda, I adjourn it and I open our Guthrie City Council meeting of Tuesday, April 4th. First item, or second item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Items A and B. A is the approval of the minutes of the March 21st, 2023 City Council meeting, and B is the approval of pay application number 6 for Young Contracting for the amount of $57,559.77 for work related to the water main replacement project on Division.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any question or discussion? Submit your votes.
I'll vote Strang.
See the votes. Unanimous approval from those present then to approve consent agendas items A and B. Item number 3 discussion and possible action on a memorandum of understanding between the City of Guthrie and the International Association of Firefighters, Local 2145, modifying the current collective bargaining agreement for fiscal year 22 through 24. Leroy?
Both staff and the firefighters local have agreed that it makes sense to amend the time frame allowed to obtain the paramedic certification from 3 years to 5 years. We found the 3-year limit was a little tight, and we're proposing that we modify that. That's the only thing we're changing is the time frame required to get the paramedic, and it'll be 5 instead of 3.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any other questions of Leroy or discussion? All right, submit your votes.
All votes rank.
See the votes. Unanimous approval from those present then to approve the memorandum of understanding between the City of Guthrie and the firefighters as presented, which is basically changing the paramedic certification from 3 years to 5 years. Item number 4, discussion and possible action to approve resolution number 2023-25 to approve the select policies within the Guthrie Public Police Department Policy Manual as set forth and presented in, I don't know, gosh, 50 or 100 pages that we all received.
It's 97 policies, I can tell you that.
It was a lot of policy. Chief, you want to present that to us?
Originally, working with the city manager, we had hoped to present these in just one book at the very end. By contract, the union has until the end of this year to get the other 53 policies done. However, last year, you approved us taking the accreditation grant, which is helping the department to become accredited. And there's 2 steps in that process that these 97 policies will address. And then we've got about 2 more policies that we'll have to get done pretty quick to finish that accreditation process out. So by the end of this fiscal year, you'll have an accredited police department, and there's just not very damn many of those in the state. And this is one of the steps that we need, is we need these 97 policies approved. The unions looked at them, agreed to them. I've looked at them, agreed to them. I think Leroy's perused them as best he wanted to. Right. So my hope is you'll approve them, and we'll bring a few more back to you shortly, and then the rest we'll bring back to you. The final lot we'll bring back to you at the end of this fiscal year.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you very much.
Dan, did you help him write all this stuff out? Oh, okay. Sorry. I
No,
just
that
wanted to ask.
speech would have been a lot longer. Come on, Dan, get up there.
Ah, we love you, Dad. We love you.
All right, just a minute. We got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, submit your votes.
Sorry, Dan.
All votes rank.
See the votes. Unanimous approval then to approve resolution number 2023-23, approving selected policies within the Guthrie Police Department Policy Manual. Chief, thank you very much. Item number 5, discussion and possible action to adopt ordinance number 3388, a request to rezone a property at 723 North 20th Street in the Capitol Heights addition from R1 single family to R2 general residential. Dan?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, this is a kind of a 2-part request. The first part is a rezone. The second part is to allow for a commercial parking lot or a parking lot that is, gosh, I forget how the code said, but anyway, in conjunction. Yeah, special use permit in conjunction to parking lot in conjunction with a commercial use. Across the street is the Bertrand. They have the vet clinic there, and the subject property they've owned for a number of years. They've been looking at increasing their parking There really isn't any room in front of their business, given the current road and everything. So they wanted to look at this particular property. As I indicated, the code does allow a commercial parking lot associated with a commercial use in an R2. So it's currently R1. So the first part would be to approve the rezone to R2, and then the second part would be to approve the special use permit for a parking lot. Also, the Planning Commission had recommended approval of both of those by a 3-0 vote, but with the special use permit, there were 3 conditions associated with it. A grading and drainage plan shall be submitted for review and approved by the city before construction of the parking lot. A 6-foot view obscuring fence is required on the southern property line of the adjacent property to separate the parking use from the residential use, and the special use permit shall expire if the approved use is discontinued for a period of 1 year. So with that, I'll put it back to the council, but you would, first one would be to adopt the ordinance for the rezone, and then the second action would be for the approval of the special use permit.
Was there opposition to it?
There was one letter which I provided, the adjacent owner to the south. She had some concerns about the type of parking that would be there. One of the things that she didn't really want to see was the large trucks, or trucks with large horse trailers, which I told her probably wasn't gonna happen anyway, cause it's not really a lot.
That property is just about as close to rural as you can be and still be in the city.
Yeah, it's in the very northwest part.
It is
Yeah.
it's right before you get to the
Yeah.
wastewater treatment plant
Right.
almost.
Yeah, but that was the
So-
only opposition, phone
Yeah.
call, written or otherwise. There wasn't anybody at the public hearing.
I move to approve both.
Second that.
I don't think
I'll
we have
second
to
on
do
both of
this
them.
as 2 separate things. We
Well,
can
that's
do it all
fine, yeah,
together.
just approve, yeah.
I move to approve both.
I'll second for both of them.
With the conditions of the planning?
Yes,
Yeah,
what
exactly.
planning
Thank
commission, yeah, perfect.
Okay, we have a motion and a second then for support of both the rezoning and the special use request dealing with the parking lot. And that was motion and a second. You agreed with that?
Yes.
A second?
A second.
Okay, any other further discussion or questions? Submit your votes.
All votes are in.
See the votes. Unanimous approval from those present then to approve the request for rezoning from R1 to R2 and to approve the special use as it pertains to the parking lot with the provisos that were identified by the Planning Commission.
Perfect.
Okay. Item number 6 is discussion possible action to confirm the mayor's nomination to the Guthrie Planning Commission as follows: to reappoint Aaron Rooney to a new term through March 31st of 2026, to appoint Shelby Vreeland to a new term, again through the same time, March 31st, 2026.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Question?
I noticed you got Aaron on the next one too, so that's probably just a misprint.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
No, it's not.
Straighten it out.
Anyway, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Submit your votes.
All votes are in.
See the votes. Unanimous approval from all those
Is that not
present
a
then
misprint?
to approve
historic
the
preservation.
appointment
Yeah,
of
under planning
Aaron Rooney.
It's
This is
a
then the
different
Planning Commission through March 31st, 2026. And Shelby Vreeland, same timeframe, term through March
But
31st,
it says under planning
2026.
commission.
Item number
It is a
7.
misprint
Hold-
on.
It is a misprint.
Hold on.
It is an.
B
it is-
shows that it's under the planning
Planning
commission
commission.
for Aaron again.
He's on both.
But it
Okay,
should be
they're both the same.
LCHS instead of the planning
Should be the
commission on
historical.
item B.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that'll be explained.
There's a Scrivener's error.
Item number 7, discussion of possible action to confirm the mayor's nomination to the Guthrie Historic Preservation Commission as follows: reappoint Valerie Duncan under the Logan County Historical Society for a new term through March 31st of 2026.
Oh, I see what you're
And
doing.
appoint Aaron Rooney under the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission has
Has a
one
seat.
person on the Historic Preservation. So
I get
that's
I got
Yeah.
that's the position that
You're
he-
taking him off, giving his position to someone else. I got it.
Okay, under the Planning Commission for a new term through March 31st of 2026. Dan?
Oh, no, you explained it, because that was the whole reason.
So moved.
Yeah.
But we haven't got C.
And we're
yet.
also
Still got
appointing
one more.
Jason Wells into
Oh, we do.
what would be the open knowledge position.
Yeah, I
What's
see
the
that.
next
I'll
one?
second that.
Jason Wells.
Oh, that's the next one?
That's the
Okay.
next
Oh,
one.
gotcha, sorry.
I'm sorry,
I'm ahead of
who
it
made
all.
the motion?
I did.
But that's just A and B.
Second here?
There's
Okay.
a C.
Any other question of Dan?
No, don't let him talk
I
anymore.
think it's on the next page. There's a
Okay.
C.
Is there,
There is a C.
There's a C, we gotta vote on it too.
There's a C in there.
Submit your votes.
no,
can't.
is
There's
there,
a-
do
there's
you
a-
want to amend the motion to include item C?
Yes.
You want to amend the motion, there's
You
the
can
second
fill it out.
accept the
Yes,
amendment.
I amend
You
it.
gotta,
No, it's the same.
Okay, now it's amended, so yeah, we can go
All right.
forward. I'll second it.
So we gotta have C in there too.
For Jason Wells,
That's a separate vote.
No,
No, it's under
seven
the
is,
same
seven
item.
is A, B, and C.
oh, wait,
Steve.
that's right, it is,
Well,
yeah.
that's not how I called it.
okay.
How do you do a separate vote on that?
So you're voting on B.
A and B.
A and B.
We already voted on A.
No.
But there has been an amended motion to include C, and the
Yeah,
second
we do.
accepted the amended motion.
Yeah.
Okay, we accepted the amended.
Right, so
All right.
we've got A, B, and
All
C
right.
now.
All right, my mistake. So we're gonna vote on A, B, and C on item number 7. Which is the reappointment of Valerie Duncan under the Logan County Historical Society, appointment of Aaron Rooney under the Planning Commission, and appointment of Jason Wells under the Knowledge capacity to fill vacancies on the Historic Preservation Commission. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Submit your votes.
All votes are in.
See the votes. Unanimous approval. And those present then to approve the appointment of Valerie Duncan to a term through March 31st of 2026. These are all to the Historic Preservation Commission. To appoint Aaron Rooney to a term again through March 31st of 2026. And to appoint Jason Wells to a term through March 31st of 2025. Item number 8, discussion possible action regarding right-of-way settlement agreement between the City of Guthrie and Oklahoma Natural Gas. Leroy?
This has to do with the ODOT Highway 105 road improvement project, so they can realign the gas lines. I had it reviewed by Bill Myers and Tenny Maker to make sure that it would not impact our utility right-of-ways, and so we're in good shape. Staff would recommend approval.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Submit your votes.
All votes are in.
See your votes. Unanimous approval from those present then to approve the right-of-way settlement agreement between the City of Guthrie and the Oklahoma Natural Gas. Item number 9, recognition of service, presentation of mega dollars by the city manager.
He's gonna give us an IOU.
He's got the smirk going.
Last one, be careful. Some of you owe us money back. This is recognition of service, presentation of the ceremonial dollar to council members. Our code of ordinance, unless it's amended tonight by the vote, the mayor and councilmen of the city of Guthrie shall receive $1 per annum. It's always been clear that as a group and individually, you all love this city. You take your role seriously. You share a collective vision of a vibrant, competitive community for the future. You've made personal sacrifices to serve this community. You do what you believe is right. Individually and collectively as a group, you have safeguarded the rich culture and historic resources of this community. Many times you do not get the thanks that you so richly deserve. Throughout the year, you've demonstrated that serving on the city council is a calling, a way to contribute to a betterment of our community You do make a difference, and we do appreciate what you do. With a heartfelt thanks, I will now present each of you your ceremonial dollar. I believe, are these in order? Let's see. I'm looking for the ones that are less than $1 first.
Look for my picture.
I'll do the mayor's first. And oh, by the way, we don't know the outcome of the election, but just to tempt you and to give you the feel of receiving monthly $300 stipend, we pasted or taped $300 to each of your plaque this year.
Oh, thank you.
For your service.
Appreciate that, Leroy. Yes,
Meeting in every group.
just don't spend it all in one place.
Vice Mayor Jim Case, again, we appreciate your service.
Thank you, sir. $300. Wow.
Yeah, you might be careful where you go to spend that.
I've tried that at Staples once. I was tricked into cashing it in there.
Let's see.
But yeah,
Mr. Long's not here tonight, so we will get him his.
I hate that picture.
Absolutely. Next, Ward 2, do Jeff Taylor. Taylor, we appreciate your service.
Thank you, sir. Did you? It looks good.
And then also Ward 2, Councilman Brian Bothroyd.
Thank you, Leroy.
We appreciate your service.
Thank you. We used to make sure the bands
And
a lighter color than you could.
Ward 3, Mr. Channel was by today. I went ahead and gave him his 85 cents because he wasn't here at the end of the year. So he got his this afternoon. And Mr. Williams, again, very appreciative of all your service to the community.
Thank you, sir. Likewise.
Thank you.
thank you, Leroy.
Thank you. Item number 10, city manager report.
I do have a couple items tonight. The first is a report, and I don't want to alarm anyone at this point, but I think it's pretty obvious to us that we do have a stressed city of Guthrie water supply. It has been dry. Over the next 2 weeks, city staff will be evaluating the current water supply status, water demands, water supply projections, and other shortage-related scenarios, and report their findings and recommendations to the city manager and the city council. For some perspective, the water demand on our system averages roughly 1.46 million gallons of water per day. That's a lot of water. If we do not receive some spring rain in the near future, there is a chance water reduction options appropriate to the level of water supply shortage could very well be an action item on the May 2nd City Council Public Works Authority meeting. Welcome to town. The city of Guthrie has several different customer types which all utilize water to add value to the city's economy and the way of life. Any water reduction plan must be balanced and consider the unique needs of these different customer types. Municipal response options will be the first to be activated, as it's important to send local residents a message that city facilities and operations will be leading the effort to reduce water use. Mineral Wells Park ponds We have already shut the 4-inch water line off that keeps the ponds full in Mineral Wells Park, and I'm sure as you drove on Division, you have noticed that. We will continue to keep an eye on the water level and work closely with the Department of Wildlife so we can come up with solutions for the fish habitat if needed. Street sweeping, we have also cut our street sweeping schedule back to an as-needed basis in hopes to save water. The operation as a street sweeper requires water usage to prevent excessive machine wear and lower the dust factor. Splash pads. We will explore the option to delay the opening of the splash pads in Banner and Mineral Wells Park. Due to the function of our splash pads, the water is not recycled. It was researched and found that to be the most feasible way to operate a splash pad. During the month of July 2022, which of course is our busiest month, we averaged just under 56 gallons per day, 56,000 gallons per day at Mineral Wells Park and almost 41,000 gallons per day at Banner Park splash pad. So depending on what happens over the next couple of weeks and whether we get rain or not, we may look at delaying the opening of those splash pads to curtail water use. Swimming pool, we will explore the option to delay the opening of the swimming pool in Highland Park due to leaks, evaporation, splashing, etc. On an average, the pool has a continuous 3-inch stream of treated water that runs into our pool as makeup water. In 2022, that averaged around 40,000 gallons of water a day to make up for the leaks in the pool. Potential additional municipal demand side management options being considered. Reduce, eliminate irrigation of municipal landscaping and sports facilities. Limit or prohibit washing of municipal fleet vehicles. Limit hydrant flushing, restrict the sale of bulk water. So those are the things that we will gradually implement as we need to, again, if we don't get rain over the next 2 or 3 weeks. We would already recommend voluntary reductions. Water customers of the city of Guthrie and outside water systems supplied by the city of Guthrie could assist by temporarily changing their water usage through voluntary reductions. In general, voluntary reductions promote short-term curtailment of discretionary water uses. While customers would identify water uses they can curtail at their own discretion, the city will recommend opportunities to reduce consumption with the least impact to lifestyles. Voluntary reductions do not require enforcement. Any cost incurred by the customers as a result of the voluntary reductions will be at the sole discretion of the customer and may be offset by lower water bills. Those aren't mandatory, but we are requesting our water customers to make any reductions they can to water consumptions until we do get rainfall. Things that may be potential proposals for you to take action on at our first meeting in May, depending on our situation 4 weeks from now. If water reduction options must be implemented. On the residential demand side, we would be looking at things like enforce landscape watering restrictions, limit maximum number of water days per week and the duration of watering time, enforce restrictions on spraying of impervious surfaces, prohibit vehicle washing, prohibit use of ornamental fountains, promote conservation with operation and maintenance of swimming pools. On the non-residential side, enforce or prohibit use of construction water, implement policy guidelines, limitations for installation of new sod and other landscaping, implement landscape watering restrictions, limit maximum number of watering days per week and the duration, reduce prohibit use of all ornamental fountains, promote conservation with operation and maintenance of swimming pools, prohibit dealership washing of vehicles, enforce water use restrictions on commercial car washes, promote limiting service of water in restaurants when not required. Some restaurants bring you a glass of water whether you ask for it or not. Those aren't being proposed tonight. Those are just some examples of themes, and it all depends on what happens in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We got water today, but if we continue for all the rains to go south of us, and we are not to benefit of rainfalls over the next few weeks, we will be looking at it, as I said, we'll be doing things internally from the city side, and at your first meeting in May, depending on the situation, we may recommend some of these actions depending on what our water levels are. Okay.
Any good news?
My last meeting. These are my final remarks as city manager, unless you call a special meeting between now and April 28th. Retirement, I'm ready for the next chapter of my life. I've had a 44-year municipal career. I started work for municipal government in 1979. Over those years, it has been my privilege to work with and mentor some of the finest public employees that I have ever experienced. Quality city staff and true community partners has allowed us to complete some meaningful projects for the various communities that I've served. I treasure the lifelong friendships that I've developed at the various stops on my journey. The last 44 years, I have waked up every morning thinking that my sole purpose that day was to do what was in the best interest of the community that I served. And that's the attitude I woke up with every day for the last 44 years. I am so appreciative of my wife, Chrissy Ossip, and my family for indulging what probably at times seemed like a workaholic lifestyle. I promise to have a better work-life balance in the next chapter of my life. My singular greatest regret or concerns of my career, you guys can rest easy, I'm not going to burn the bridges tonight. The questions that I've always had throughout my career is, did I work hard enough? Did I let anyone outwork me? Did I study hard enough? Did I maintain sharp skill sets and knowledge to always be competitive at a high level? Did I do enough for each community I served? Could I have done more? Was I always the best team member I could be? Did I serve as a good mentor to young developing staff members? Did I do enough to make the team around me better? I'm probably my own worst critic, so I will leave it up to others to now address those questions. The past 6 years that I have lived and worked in Guthrie have been incredible. Some of the highlights for me have been what I think has been my greatest single accomplishment is Team Guthrie. The Team Guthrie standard has been instilled in the city government culture and has become part of our DNA. It's clear to everyone now that when city staff works together with our community, state, and federal partners, there is no task, challenge, or project too big or too daunting that collectively we cannot achieve our collective goals. I believe that I've created that same team effort in other communities that I've served over the last 40 years. I've been fortunate throughout my career to have great department head management teams at each stop along my path. However, I must admit the City of Guthrie department head management team that we've assembled is second to none. I've always taken pride in being a member of the City of Guthrie staff. No matter how difficult the situation, how inclement the weather was, or how significant the challenge, the City of Guthrie employees always answered the call. I believe that I played a key role in enhancing the city's financial and administrative stability for the future. I've enjoyed serving a very community-minded and noted spirited governing body. Guthrie has always been a premier community long before my arrival. However, I believe by working together, we have funded and implemented a wide variety of placemaking projects over the last 6 years that will attract young families and young professionals to our community for many years to come. I am proud of the retirement process that we followed to allow city leaders ample time to develop an orderly transition plan for the future. I'm excited to see Eddie Faulkner take the reins as the next Guthrie City Manager. I believe that Mr. Faulkner will be an asset to the Guthrie community from day one, and by working with the current city department head leadership team and our community partners, his tenure in Guthrie will be as productive as my own tenure in the Guthrie community. Finally, I am so grateful of the opportunity I've had to develop lifelong friends, not only in Guthrie, but as the many career steps I've had along the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it?
That's it.
That's all I got. Unless you want me to burn those bridges.
Okay, item number 11, comments from city council members. Councilman Taylor.
89ers is coming up before we get back to the next meeting. There'll be a lot of things going on, guys, so this is one you're gonna enjoy. We're getting close to the 100th anniversary, so that'll be good too. Staff, thank you. Sorry, we didn't get to hear Dan talk a lot more. And Leroy, what more can you say? Thank you very much. You took us from a long ways back. You know what happened in the first couple of days you were here. It was real tough, so I applaud and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Councilman Williams.
I concur with Mr. Taylor's words.
Vice Mayor Case.
Yeah, Leroy, we've been very blessed to have you, Guthrie. You and I butted heads a couple times, and I think you butted heads with every one of us up here, but we always managed to find the right answers in the end, so I guess that's a good thing.
Yes, sir.
So everybody needs to get your button because you'll go to jail. There's not anything on the back that says you won't go to jail, so you're going to go to jail without the button. So get your button for 89ers Day. That's all I've got.
Councilman Guthrie.
Yeah, obviously, you've done a tremendous job for us, and words won't even tell you how much I appreciate it, so, but I do, big time.
Thank you.
And the Chiefs, Harlow, those fires, I mean, you guys stepped up, way up. And I think, from what I've seen, a lot of the staff has too. So that's something to be, proud of. No loss of life that I know of, which is critical. Exactly. And everything that you do, Don, is, it's very appreciated. Everybody's appreciated. That's what I got.
Councilman Gary.
25 years ago, when I sat on the council, I had the high distinction and honor of firing a city manager. So I remember the turbulent days. When my mother was on council, she had the distinction of firing a city manager. So I think you've survived a long time. The average tenure of a city manager is pretty short in most communities across the nation. And in the past, Guthrie has had growing pains, and we've had difficulties, and so I think a 6-year tenure is quite an accomplishment. And although I wasn't on the council when you started, I have kept up over the years, all the years that I've been in Guthrie, and always, maintained an interest in city government. And so I've kept current with all of the news and things that are going on in town. And so I think that your tenure here is certainly is certainly commendable, and am sorry that I don't get to work with you longer. I know that everybody has spoken really highly of you, and so I am sorry that I won't get the opportunity to work with you longer, but I'm glad you got us somebody that seems to be pretty capable and eager to get going, and so I thank you for your service, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter as well. And I also want to thank the public safety officials. On Friday, I was in Oklahoma City as we were coming back, and I saw all the hard work that you all did in terms of ensuring and coordinating with the county and making sure that everybody was safe, so I appreciate that.
All right. Well, Leroy, I think that clearly the culture of an organization takes its message, its direction from the leadership. And the time that you spent here in the leadership role, the culture of our organization, of our city government, has been significant. The bar has been raised. We talk about Team Guthrie, which is a great team, but we also talk about the leader of that team, which is you, and the vision and the culture of helping each other, the culture of achieving as close to excellence as we can get, the culture of providing service to our citizenry and making Guthrie a better place, has started with you, and every citizen here should be thanking you for it, and I'm sure they do. In fact, we have an opportunity on your retirement day,
April 20th.
April
20th.
April 20th.
What day is that fall?
April 20th.
Thursday.
Thursday at Meridian Technology,
2 to 4.
2 to 4. There'll be information coming out on that.
We get cake?
But for the city and the region to come together and appropriately thank you for what you've done. And I know you're not leaving. I know that you'll be a continual part of this community and of Team Guthrie, although maybe not as an official way as you have been the last 6 years. But again, thank you so much for setting the bar high, for establishing a culture of excellence. Appreciate you very, very much. And speaking of appreciation, as have been mentioned, the horrible fire that we had, and it was horrible. But the results of that is something that is somewhat typical of Oklahoma, but yet I think Guthrie and the county achieved even a higher level. And it's not just fire, it's not just police, it's a lot of people working behind the scenes. We talked about the telecommunicators. They were obviously involved significantly in directing where fires and where problems were. I think probably Tenny and his staff were involved with some of the barricades getting set out. And I mean, it's just, again, it's Leroy, it's that Team Guthrie effort that minimized a horrible situation, if we can call minimizing it. But it could have been a lot worse, and you guys know much better than probably the rest of us. But just congratulations for making that kind of response, that kind of an effort, that kind of coordination, because it doesn't always happen. But you guys made it happen for Guthrie and for Logan County, and for everybody concerned. So congratulations, not only again to police and fire, but also the whole team that got involved.
With you guys.
Really, really appreciate that. Jeff mentioned 89ers. We've got that coming up. It's going to be a big event for us. The 22nd is the Saturday. The 22nd is the parade. We brought the rodeo back. The chuck wagon feed is back, which is one of the reasons why we decided to cancel our council meeting for that Tuesday. But lots of activities going on. Yes, as Brian said, or Jim, whoever it was, get your button. Get your button. Get your button. But enjoy the time. It's a great celebration for our community, the birthing of Guthrie, America. So, be a good time. Okay. Item number 12, consider approval to convene into executive session pursuant to authority Title 25 for discussion concerning opiate litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Submit your votes. See the votes, unanimous approval from all those present to move into executive session. Folks, we will be back in a while.
especially, yeah.
Man, we almost got the stipend vote. We came within 5 points.
Yeah, well, I don't care.
Oh, well.
I figure if I stay for full term, I can go buy back cigarettes.
We put it in the slot machine
I
at the
can't buy a
casino.
company with it, it's too expensive. Yeah, put it in the slot machine and hope for the best.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion then to come out of executive
moved.
session.
Second.
Motion and a second. Submit your votes.
All votes are in.
See the votes, unanimous approval from all those present then to move out of executive session. Item number 14, considering action regarding the resolution to approve participation in a number of settlement agreements. Vice Mayor Case.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 2023-26.
So moved.
Second.
And just for the record, that's approved participation in the Allergan settlement.
I'll clarify that on the next one.
Okay? We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Submit your votes.
All votes are in.
See the votes. Unanimous approval from all those present then to approve resolution 2023-26, the Allergan settlement agreement.
Item number 15, I guess,
Yes.
is resolution to approve the participation in the CVS settlement agreement. That's resolution 2023-27.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Submit your votes.
All votes are in.
See the votes. Unanimous approval from all those present and to approve resolution 2023-27, the CVS settlement agreement.
Item number 16 is resolution 2023-28, which is a resolution to approve participation in the TVS settlement agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Submit your votes.
All votes are in.
See the votes. Unanimous approval from those present then. Approve resolution 2023-28, the TIVA resolution agreement.
Item number 17 is resolution 2023-29, a resolution to approve the participation in the Walgreens settlement agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Submit your votes.
All votes are in.
See the votes. Unanimous approval from all those present then to approve resolution 2023-29, Walgreens settlement agreement.
Lastly, item number 18 is resolution 2023-30, which is a resolution to approve participation in Walmart settlement agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Submit your votes.
All votes are in.
Can we cash these hundreds in with you?
Unanimous approval from those present then to approve resolution 2023-30, the Walmart settlement agreement.
Everybody be safe.
That being the last item on our agenda, folks, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.